residents are voicing their concern after a pack of dogs chased after a neighbor and is even believed to have killed a cat. Now, this comes after recent dog attacks in other parts of Jefferson County, the latest happening just this week. As WVTM 13's Emma Owen explains, residents want action.
Something needs to be done, because not only is it causing a nuisance to people, it's actually killing people.
Becky Wallace, president of the Roebuck neighborhood in Birmingham, demanding action. This year alone, several people have been attacked by packs of dogs in Jefferson County, 2 even dying from their injuries. All this, as Wallace says, dogs roam her own neighborhood.
We have neighbors that have called me and said that they could not leave their house because there was a dog in the front yard being aggressive.
The owner of this home here behind me says she's concerned. She's seen many dogs running through her yard in the middle of the night. You can see them here caught on camera. Neighbors believe this pack killed a cat.
Oh no, it would not be me. It would not be me. Not me. Did y'all see that? Y'all see those dogs? Middle of the night. Is that nighttime?
Many dogs running through her yard in the middle of the night. You can see them here caught on camera. Neighbors believe this pack killed a cat and chased after a woman. People like Gail Medea.
Man, this is in Alabama. Are you crazy? Why are they allowing this? These people are allowing this to happen. They're showing mercy on these dogs. Don't tell me people in Alabama are not armed. I'm not trying to hear that. I believe it's open carry in Alabama. What are the gun laws in Alabama? Suddenly, nobody in Alabama has a gun. Are you buying that? I'm not buying that. Not buying that. Okay? Now, Alabama does not require a permit to carry a concealed firearm for anyone 19 or older who is legally entitled to own a gun. You don't even need a permit. You telling me they're just traumatized and don't know what to do. Okay, let's hear more.
Gail Medea are now worried for their own safety.
If they ran through my yard and tried to attack me, I couldn't stop them. You know, I could maybe avert a little bit, but I would be afraid that I would be hurt.
Yeah, you'd be more than hurt, ma'am. Let's be real, ma'am. I know it might be, you don't want to be vulgar in front of the camera. I get it. But let's be realistic. Now it's time to be realistic. They'll kill you. She would likely, she's at a high risk of being killed.
This comes as Allison Black Cornelius, CEO of the Greater Birmingham Humane Society, says our state and Jefferson County are nearing a record number of dog attacks and deaths. She says she's meeting with Birmingham City Council President and his staff next week to discuss the issue.
It's not safe for our kids and our families. It's not fair to property owners, and it's not fair to the animals. And it's got to stop.
Now, what animals is she talking about? I hope she's not talking about dogs. I hope she's talking about animals other than dogs. Because these packs of dogs are attacking those animals. The dogs are not being attacked.
In response to recent attacks, both Black Cornelius and Wallace are pushing for new regulations and the enforcement of existing ones. Things like leash laws and rabies vaccine requirements.
What is that going to do? Rabies vaccine requirement? What? You gonna confiscate some stray pit bulls, give them a rabies vaccination, and turn them back loose in the streets? What are you talking about? So I don't get that. I don't get that. If you pick up some stray pit bulls, you don't release them, and you don't give them no rabies shot. You euthanize them. Who cares if they got rabies? You just straight up euthanize them. Okay? This is goofiness. And what do you mean leash laws? People are not losing control of these dogs. They're not breaking free off people's leash. These are packs of dogs. There's been strays for days, weeks, months, years, who knows? What are they talking about, leash laws? Here they go. See, they're so used to saying a bunch of nothing that they're clumsy with it. They don't even make an attempt to sound convincing. Do y'all notice that? They'll just throw anything out there. We're looking at improving leash laws. Rabies vaccinate. Anything that won't impact the dogs. They're so used to saying nothing, they're clumsy with it at this point and feel like they can just say anything and people will just swallow it. Because they assume that people, the general public, doesn't know anything about dog culture. No, people are paying attention. Y'all gonna need to upgrade our rhetoric or suffer a fast demise.
Existing ones, things like leash laws and rabies vaccine requirements.
We need spay neuter laws. We need licensing.
Spay neuter licensing. This sounds like a bunch of dog lovers. So because they're talking nonsense. No spay neuter. Why would you confiscate these stray pit bulls, spay and neuter them, and then release them back into the public? What are you talking about? And don't tell me that they're becoming strays because they're not spayed and neutered. You don't know that and you can't control that. This is nonsense. This is nothing but a bunch of nonsense they're throwing out there in order to avoid doing anything.
And
And licensing. Get out of here. Ma'am, if this lady had a license, would that make her any more effective at controlling a pit bull? Huh? If you're walking and you're approaching her and she got a pit bull, are you going to feel comfortable if she say, "Don't worry, I have a license"? See, they get into this mythological talk, this magical language that just is illogical. And I don't know, people are so brain dead, they just accept it. Oh, okay, yeah. You can't even say that makes sense. They just take, oh, okay, licensing. Oh, stop it. That ain't gonna make no safer community.
Requirements.
we need spay neuter laws. We need licensing and accountability for people that have animals.
Changes Wallace believes could reduce the number of strays and attacks. In Roebuck, Emma Owen, WVTM 13.
Reduce the number of strays and attacks. Stop it. Stop it. So basically, the dogs have taken Alabama siege. Okay? And you heard the lady with the ASPCA. You're going to hear more from her. I believe she gave input to another media outlet about the dog attacks in Alabama. Okay? This is Jefferson County, Alabama.
Concerned as our state is nearing a record number of both dog attacks and deaths. That's according to the CEO of the Greater Birmingham Humane Society.
WVTM 13's Emma Owen is joining us live in Birmingham tonight as authorities in Jefferson County investigate the latest dog attack.
Well, Brittany, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says the victim has non-life-threatening injuries. However, one neighbor says the victim will likely have scars from the attack for the rest of her life. One neighbor captured the attack on security footage, and we want to warn you, you might find it hard to watch. You can see here a neighbor walking through the yard of a vacant home on 11th Street in Robin Wood when 13 dogs attack her, leaving her injured. Allison Black Cornelius, CEO of the Greater Birmingham.
Now you see, that's the same lady. I've shown her before. Okay, so just get ready. Get ready for the nonsense.
Humane Society says the dogs were captured and euthanized for rabies testing.
It is very concerning to the Greater Birmingham Humane Society members to see people afraid like this of dogs, but for good reason.
Black Cornelius says
Okay, so if that's the case, why aren't you held accountable? Miss Humane Society pit bull promoter, how can you speak like this about the same creatures you claim and promote as harmless, perfect additions to the family? We have a problem here. These are the same creatures y'all constantly trying to shove into people's homes. How can they also be such a deadly, menacing threat to the general public? Huge contradiction there that's not going to stand the test of time. Let's put a bet on it.
People afraid like this of dogs, but for good reason.
Black Cornelius says this comes as both the county and state are nearing a record number of dog attacks and deaths.
You'd be shocked at what you saw if you just drove up and down the residential streets of Bessemer. You wouldn't even have to work hard at it. Or Robin Wood or McDonald Chapel, you could just see roaming packs of dogs.
Earlier
This is the head of the Humane Society. I mean, this is literally Miss Adopt a Pit Bull Today herself in the flesh. This is Miss Dogs Are Family, and it's always a bully breed. What is she talking about now? What is this? No, is nobody gonna call out this obvious contradiction? This is like criminal. Like, how dare you? You better retract all of the, don't let me, I'm gonna follow this woman. She is worth following. Like, forever. If I ever catch you promoting these dogs again, listen, I'm going to be forced to stay on your bumper. I missed this lady's name. Do y'all mind if we go back and see if we can catch it? I want to find her Twitter, her something. She has to have a handle. I need it. I need it. I'll skip past some of this. I missed her name. I need it.
Well, Brittany, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says the victim has non-life-threatening injuries. However, one neighbor says the victim will likely have scars from the attack for the rest of her life. One neighbor captured the attack on security footage, and we want to warn you, you might find it hard to watch. You can see here a neighbor walking through the yard of a vacant home on 11th Street in Robin Wood when 13 dogs attack her, leaving her injured. Allison Black Cornelius, CEO of the Greater Birmingham Humane Society, says
What? See, they didn't show her name. I don't like that.
Her injured. Allison Black Cornelius.
Allison Black Cornelius? Allison Black Cornelius? Is that what she said? Let me, I have to find this lady. Okay, this is very important. Here we go. Here we go. I got her. She's got a Facebook. Okay. Does she have a Twitter? Please have a Twitter. Please have a Twitter. Oh, I think she has a Twitter. Oh boy. Okay, do you mind? I'm gonna share this. Okay, I'm gonna share. And she has a Facebook, so I have to follow her. Now, it's a problem. As the head of the CEO, Humane Society. How crazy is that? Okay, y'all do your research on her. Oh boy. Oh, this is deep. I'm gonna share a link to her Facebook. Yeah. Right now. How about I do that? How y'all doing tonight? Oh, it's another late night creeper. Let's go.
CEO of the Greater Birmingham Humane Society says the dogs were captured and euthanized for rabies testing.
It is very concerning to the Greater Birmingham Humane Society members to see people afraid like this of dogs, but for good reason.
Black Cornelius says this comes as both the county and state are nearing a record number of dog attacks and deaths.
You'd be shocked at what you saw if you just drove up and down the residential streets of Bessemer. You wouldn't even have to work hard at it. Or Robin Wood or McDonald Chapel, you could just see roaming packs of dogs.
Earlier this year, a pack of dogs killed a man in McDonald's Chapel, one of multiple attacks in central Alabama.
That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They're like rats. They're just overpopulating. This is crazy. And it's not really overpopulation. These are just dogs that somehow became strays. Escaped some, who knows and who cares? Spay and neuter and all this nonsense is not going to make no difference. And you can't control that. You can't force people to spay and neuter their dogs.
This year alone. As for who these attacks are impacting,
it's largely happening in communities that don't have the financial resources that some of our wealthier communities have. To me,
financial resources? No, this comes from a failure to euthanize these good-for-nothing, worthless mutants. That's the only way to prevent things like this from happening. The government needs to ban them, all bully breeds, and round them up and euthanize them. Put all of them down. Drive them into extinction. They're not family. They're not part of the human race. We are not part dog. Stop acting weird and crazy. That's the answer.
It feels very much like unequal justice. The people that live in the city of Birmingham and the city of Bessemer, Adams, all over this place, everywhere in our county, have a right to enjoy their property without fear that a dog is going to kill their children to them.
Now, Black Cornelius.
You're not allowed to talk like that about these same sweet, innocent pooches that you promote in the most dodo type of way. She's basically a dodo advocate. She, no doubt, has liked several posts from the dodo. Don't give me this now. Don't see, they think they can just acknowledge the truth sometimes. No, it don't work like that. Y'all steering this world into a weird, cringe, false, deceptive existence. I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you. Stop it. Nutters, y'all going too far with this.
Leah says it's time to take action against this issue. She says she's meeting with the Birmingham City Council president and his staff next week. Live in Birmingham.
Talking like she about to do something. All she gonna do is try her best to make sure nothing is done. That's what she's gonna do. That's what she's gonna work hard to do. Alabama. This is one of the cases that they're talking about down there in Alabama. I don't know how, I'm sure all of you remember this. Is one of the most recent attacks. That attack with the wolf dog. Remember, that was Alabama.
First at 5, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office is investigating the death of a 3-month-old after the baby was attacked by a wolf hybrid. Good evening, I'm Ben Hoover.
And I'm Carly Lang. CBS 42's Courtney Chandler is looking into what happened and seeing if it's legal to own an animal like this in Alabama.
Oh, now we all know about this case. This was not a stray. The dog problem in Alabama is not exclusive to strays. So as we talk about the dog problem in Alabama, y'all can't leave out cases like this because this is one of the worst cases. Okay? But I can see y'all trying to leave this out of the discussion because it didn't involve strays. No, this is part of the problem. Y'all owning them is part of the problem. And ma'am, with the Humane Society, just like you talked about how vicious they are as strays, you need to talk about them, have that same energy as you talk about them as pets, so-called pets. See how that don't work? It don't work. You understand? Hybrid or bully breed, it don't matter. That was Alabama. Also, Alabama. What was that? Like a few weeks ago, wasn't it? It's like a few weeks ago. That's San Antonio. Now, dog attacks, as we all know, been real bad in San Antonio, also in Michigan, really everywhere in the country. Okay, remember that Dale County attack took place this past summer? Dale County, that was in Alabama. Man killed by a pack of dogs. Dale County, how close is that to Jefferson County? My crusaders in Alabama, let us know if you could. Alabama's all the same, it's bad everywhere. We've heard a lot of attacks in Georgia too. Everywhere down south, really, especially in Florida. Horrible in Florida. Right, but this man was killed. That was back in July. That story broke. I think this was a different story, right? 65-year-old man killed after being attacked by dogs. Jefferson County neighborhood. This was in March, earlier this year. Man was killed in Jefferson County. There's a lot of attacks in Alabama. If y'all remember that case with the truck driver, that was in Alabama, and that involved a police dog. There you have again an example of where dogs shouldn't be. They shouldn't be used as police dogs. They shouldn't be used as pets, and they are a problem even if they're out in the world like other natural animals. All of this points to the fact that they're not natural animals, and we should not treat them as such. Right now, people treat them much better than they treat natural animals. It's an inversion of reality. Okay? This was also, wait a minute, Richmond, Virginia? This is Virginia? Saying Alabama. What is this? Okay.
This dog attack, 2 people hurt, and one of them, an elderly man, the other, a good Samaritan just trying to help. Thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us at 6. I'm Ian Wright.
And I'm Sherry Falk. WVTM 13 was the only station on the scene in Tarrant when animal control officers captured one of the dogs believed to be responsible.
Yeah, Magdalena Lusant joining us live now near the Greater Birmingham Humane Society. That's where the animal was taken. Magdalena, the question is, what happens next?
Yes, Ian, Sherry, the 2 dogs involved in this attack are here at the Greater Birmingham Humane Society, and they are no longer a threat to the public. So here they are waiting to be tested for rabies and checked to see if they are.
Well, they are a threat if they're still alive. They're a threat to everybody around it.
Microchipped.
Look at this. 2 GBHS animal control officers.
Look at that rodent mutt crawling up out of that hole like a rat. Disgusting abomination, filthy predator, nothing but a vicious, disgusting killer, a wicked devil, demonic mutant, nothing even remotely close to being godly or divine. I so despise how these people exalt these creatures.
Look at this. 2 GBHS animal control officers capturing the dog wanted for attacking a man and woman in a Tarrant City park just hours before.
Look at it with it all slumped over like a demon, ashamed of its evil, a filthy rat. Yeah, I'm going to give this thing the exact opposite type of accolades or comments that these dog lovers and pit bull lovers give it. That's what it deserves. See, if you want reality and nature, reverse everything that's going on right now. Disgusting mute. It looked almost, but we know it's not a shame because it don't have a drop of shame or regret or guilt. It's not humane enough to feel things like that. Disgusting demon.
City Park just hours before.
We're just hoping that these two people are okay.
If you look closely, you can see a chained padlock around its neck. Allison Black Cornelius tells us this may mean the dog was tethered to something.
If you chain a dog up, it is...
That's probably decorations. Who cares if it was tethered to something? No matter what you do with them, they end up attacking people. So what are you talking about? See, you can tell she about to try to finesse you. Oh, they were abused. They were tethered outside. These things have been astray forever. So what is you talking about? And if keeping them tied to something will make them more aggressive, then why wouldn't keeping them in a crate make them more aggressive? You still limit their range of motion. These people don't even make sense. But she's about to hit you with that mantra.
It's going to make the dog more aggressive and far more dangerous.
Police say things got dangerous around 5:30 a.m. Two dogs attacked a man in his 70s, known to frequently exercise at Chief Billy Hewitt Park off Highway 79.
Good citizen, getting his exercise, living his life, and it's tragic.
Tarrant Police Chief Wendell Major says a woman tried helping the man. Then
See? Dogs, they don't know who to attack and who not to attack. Can't use them for protection. Attack a man out getting his exercise. These things are worthless. They have exactly the type of character that we should despise, that we should not like. Man's best friend. Don't let these people dupe you. They're trying to reverse reality on us.
The dogs turned on her. A bystander called officers who got there in time to shoot one of the animals. One died behind a building close by.
There you go, bravo. Neutralize the threat. No more people had to be hurt because these twisted mutants attacked people unprovoked on sight. Put an end to that. Finally, somebody defensively shot the threat dead. Good for them.
This one got away until GBHS Animal Control caught it this afternoon.
Because the animals ran towards 79 back across and then towards the back of this other business, we suspect they come from that area, which is unincorporated Jefferson County, where it's not very populated.
Both victims are in the hospital still, eager to learn if these dogs had owners.
She just did what she could to try to save this man's life, and believe me, I think he's in grave condition at the hospital, and we're praying for him and his family.
So he's in horrible condition. Horrible condition. Now let me tell you, I don't know what he does or whatever, but if he goes out there to exercise, he should have been armed. Anytime you're outside, walking, running, whatever, you better be armed. That's the type of work. And you got to be armed for dogs.
That he'll be able to recover.
GBHS will look for microchips and turn it into Tarrant Police.
If I were the mayor of the city right now...
There she go again. That is an important lady to follow.
I would be passing an anti-tethering act. People are dying.
Anti-tethering act. She's blaming these attacks on her assumption, her wild guess, that all of these dogs, before they became strays, were tethered to something which made them aggressive. Boy, it should infuriate all of you that they would even attempt to push this nonsense. Wow. How? That is disgusting. That is a disgusting lie. What an evil, evil, disgusting lie that is. How demonic. I hope you're proud of yourself. What a sick, sick thing to say.
For the mayor of the city right now, I would be passing an anti-tethering act. People are dying. People are being maimed. People are being permanently maimed. The problem
and it's happening because people are harming the dogs. It's happening because people are mistreating these wonderful animals.
It's gotten completely out of control.
Yeah, mute her. Yeah, mute her. Put her on mute. turn off her mic. Lord, stop talking to her. What y'all keep going back there for? You don't need to hear nobody like that. Look at her with the Humane Society right in the background. Get up out of there, man.
Now, when GBHS gets those rabies results, I'm told.
What was that long pause all about? Looked like the journalist was kind of lost about what she said too.
Now, when GBHS gets those rabies results, I'm told they will notify the victims and their families. Meanwhile, it's warm outside and a lot of people are taking advantage of it. So we've got some tips for you if you find yourself walking around and may see a stray dog. GBHS is telling us that you should carry pepper spray with you and have a walking stick, maybe to keep the distance between you and a stray dog if it starts to approach.
Be a legal carrier, carry a firearm. We talking about packs of dogs. Don't talk to people about no stick. Okay? Let's do that. Let's talk like that. We talking about packs of bully breeds, people. Packs of bully breeds. One bully breed is bad enough. A stick is inefficient for one. We talking about a pack as many as 13. Make sure you don't have a criminal record. You don't need a license to carry a concealed weapon and carry a weapon. If you're walking, that's proper advice. They're not going to give that advice because they don't want any harm to come to their gods. That's just the long and short of it. Yeah. What else? Now that's Alabama. I hope I found some duplicates at this point. I hope I've covered this already. Fayette County, Alabama. I don't believe I have. Okay, that one we just listened to, that surfaced back in June of this year. All of these attacks took place this year. Okay, so that was back in June. This one was in August.
New on 6 Center side right now, a Fayette County man is in critical condition. His family says he was attacked by a pack of dogs this week.
It is a horrible story. It happened in Barry. Want to warn you, the photos you're about to see in this story may be disturbing. Here's our Brian Henry.
The mere thought of what happened to 52-year-old William Trawick horrifies his niece, Angel Trawick. It is here on Crow Avenue, not even a mile from downtown Barry, Alabama, where 5 dogs attacked William Trawick on Monday of this week.
I can't even think to imagine, getting drugged all the way down there here by multiple dogs.
And that is precisely what
I remember Trawick as an easy name to remember. I remember this.
Happened according to the police department. Police Chief Gerald Dito says William Trawick had car trouble and decided to walk the half mile or so to his brother's house when it happened. A vicious attack, bloody and scary. The dogs pulled the man some 25 yards from the original point of attack.
He walked up and had sunglasses and a hat on, and I guess when he turned to leave, it seemed like they attacked him.
We're taking it day by day.
Angel Trawick says her uncle remains hospitalized at UAB in Birmingham. She credits a nurse who happened to be off work that day for saving her uncle's life.
See,
but I did reach out.
See, when people prepare for the possibility of stuff like this happening, which is what's going to happen, more and more people are going to become armed. They're going to carry weapons, not for people, but for dogs, for situations like this. The more people do this, the more ridiculous they understand it is to have dogs as pets and to embrace them the way that we do in society. That's the beginning of the end of dog. It's already begun. There's already people who do that.
her on Facebook and told her that the family appreciates her stopping and
said she rolled her window down, started hollering at them, and they took off running, and then she got out to render aid.
The odd thing about this investigation, according to investigators, is there's no one to charge. The reason is the dogs were stray dogs, and they hunted as a pack.
I believe it's more of a territorial thing.
No. Territory. Wow. What a disservice that statement is. What, you think they wouldn't have left their territory to attack them? I'm sure they did. These things don't have a territory. They're not smart enough to do stuff like that. Okay?
As for William Trawick, the family says he suffered major dog bites and has had multiple surgeries.
legs. They're saying that he might not be able to use his arms and his legs again.
Meantime, two of the
And who cares if it was a territory? They don't have no territory. This is our territory. They don't have nothing. Worthless mutants have nothing.
5 animals were captured and euthanized, according to the chief. Tests are being done to see whether they had rabies. The search is on.
Euthanized. Good. I must always celebrate and say good when I hear of a dog being euthanized, because they're always euthanized defensively. It's always after they've attacked someone. So good. That's my personal ritual. Celebrate after each one of them gets deleted defensively.
On for the remaining 3 dogs who helped carry out a violent assault on Crow Avenue. And Barry, Brian Henry, WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
Nothing
The
else.
new tonight
Nothing else stops the attack. People have used stun guns. Don't work. Pepper spray. We just heard of an attack. Don't work. That made the attack even worse.
We're getting new video.
Baseball bats. Heard all kind of stuff. Don't work. We've heard of bullets. We heard stories where it's taken multiple bullets to put these things down. All testament to the fact they should not be in society. Don't point the finger at me. It's your fault for having them here and forcing people like me to have to shoot them. So I don't want to hear it. I always have to point stuff like that out because Nutters is always trying to project me as wrong somehow when they're the one terrorizing community. Get out of here.
We're getting new video out of Walker County showing a woman attacked by a group of dogs. We warn you, this video may be disturbing to some. This happened in Carbon Hill. Police say the Walker County Animal Control Officer now has a report and criminal charges could be filed.
Once again, what did she do? What did she do? Mr. and Miss, oh, you frightened them. Oh, you did something. Oh, you pulled their ear. You didn't pull their tail. Why y'all keep saying that? Keep talking like that's required for them to attack. As long as you don't do nothing to them, they wouldn't attack you. They wouldn't dare attack you for no reason. No dog would do that.
Charges could be filed. The person officer now has a report and police say the Walker County Animal Control Officer now has a
she's trying to be stern. Trying to stand up to him. You can tell.
Report and criminal charges could be filed. The person who gave us the footage says the woman who was attacked ended up going to the hospital. And you can see someone chasing those dogs.
She could have fought them off if she was really rowdy. Because they was very cowardly.
Away.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
We're getting new video out of Walker County showing a widow. Police say the Walker County Animal Hospital.
Wait a minute. So that was the end of their 24 seconds. They basically just wanted to show the attack. See, they just used this as clickbait. Hey, look at what we caught on camera. They don't care to put an end to this stuff. It's comedy to them. That's why they look at stuff like this and then they go out and get a dog themselves. Oh, look at the teeth. Look at the teeth on this dog. Oh, look at the muscles. I love that. This also happened in Alabama. This was back in February. Carbon Hill, Alabama. Packs of dogs all up in Alabama. What is going on down there? Maybe I need to take a stroll down to Alabama, see what's really popping. Maybe I need to show y'all how to walk about different streets and roads and be safe. Okay? Suddenly, again, nobody got a gun in Alabama. All right, Alabamans. Oh my goodness. What is this? What is this? Don't tell me. What is this? Is this Alabama? It says Decatur neighbor. What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't need no more Alabama stories, even though I'm focusing on Alabama. I thought this was an Alabama story. Let me hear what it is. What's going on here?
A scary situation in Decatur last night when a dog attacked a little girl. Wake Data One's Maddie McCaffrey has the details on this story and how a neighbor stepped into action.
About 8 p.m. Thursday, right here on 5th Avenue Northwest, is where a young child was attacked by a dog. A new neighbor looked out his window and saw the mother and the child screaming for help. That's when he sprang into action.
And saw the dog attached to the little girl, and the woman and her mother was just screaming and holding her, trying to get the dog loose, and I immediately tore out of the house.
Ryan Dutton said he managed to get the dog off the girl long enough for her and her mother to make an escape to the inside of his house.
I grabbed the dog and was just hitting against the side of its head until it let go, and then I pushed it away once it let go.
Oh, and I was so sorry for having to do that. Oh, I felt so bad for having to do that. Yeah, people just accept stuff like this. They just accept it. Oh, it's just like a gust of wind there. Oh, you all right? You okay? Oh, let's go on about our life now. Come here, boy. Man's best friend. Go right back to acting crazy. Oh, it's man, all dogs are family. Go right back to that nonsense. And then you stupid act all terrified when they tee off on you again. Oh, we're about to die. No. Oh, we didn't do nothing. Man, get out of here.
Go and try to keep it separated from the mother and the child.
Paramedics and police arrived to the scene, taking the child to Huntsville Hospital, and Decatur Animal Control was on the scene and picked up the dog.
Yeah, I didn't even think. The moment I realized it was a dog attack on a little kid, I was out that door. Honestly, it was almost a blur, but I could just remember going and just trying to keep it away.
Dutton says he hopes the child is not forever traumatized by dogs, and he wishes her a full recovery.
There you go. So he's worried about how she's going to view dogs after this. That's basically what he was saying.
Decatur police tell us that the child's injuries are non-life threatening, and Animal Control says they've been in contact with the dog's owners to determine what is next.
Oh, what's next? Make sure to surround the kid with dogs now. That's what this guy want. Boy, this is sick. This is definitely cultish behavior. He's a dog lover. He's a dog lover himself.
Trying to keep it away.
Dutton says he hopes the child is not forever traumatized by dogs.
I hope she is. Being traumatized. If people was traumatized by them, there'd be a lot fewer people being attacked. All these people walking around with no weapon would have a weapon. Because they terrified of, whoa. What y'all call terrified is simply us being aware that these things are deadly and treating them like a deadly threat. That's what you're supposed to do. That makes sense. Ain't about being traumatized forever. Shut up with that. Now this is Decatur. That's not Alabama, that's Georgia. But it was good to hear something that wasn't out of Alabama for a change. Alabama has been off the chain here recently. Y'all remember this woman that was on Dr. Phil? That was Alabama.
Terry, this was really traumatic for you at the time. You knew this dog.
Yes.
And you didn't have any precursors to this. You didn't see this coming at all.
No, not at all.
All right. And you got first bitten on top of the head.
Yes. Well, when I first walked in the front door, he grazed my arm, but he was on the couch, so it was kind of, I wasn't sure if it was his, I wasn't sure what happened, really. So.
But when he really attacked you, it was after that, right?
Yeah.
And how did he get to the top of your head?
Well, I was leaned up against the hospital bed, and he had followed me when I got there, with his toy, but I had a bad feeling. So he jumped on the bed, and then he jumped down, and then he jumped back up, and then he was right.
Yeah. And your friend had been injured and had a hospital bed there temporarily to be in a hospital bed, right? And you were sitting on the bed?
I was leaned up against, with my backside to the...
Yeah, leaned up against it?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what triggered the dog? You have no idea?
No, and he can't tell us.
And how did your friend initially react to your injuries?
Well, we were both, she seemed upset, concerned, but then after, it was really in cover-up mode, and...
She tried to play it down?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. But at the time, both of you were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because they were...
Horrific.
Yeah, and you went to the hospital.
Yeah.
And how much of your scalp was ripped off?
5 by 6 area was ripped off, and then where it ripped, so it would have been like a 5 by 10.
Yeah. Her skull was exposed. That dog had begun to scalp her. These things can literally rip your face off, clean off. That's what we're talking about. That's the level of danger we talking about that y'all want to tell us to ignore and pretend is not there. No thanks. No thanks.
Yeah, and we have this blurred so y'all don't throw up. And this was down to the skull, right?
Yes, they couldn't reattach it.
There's no way to reattach it?
Couldn't even reattach it. So had she been, and understand, when a dog is latched onto your scalp like that, if it's more than one dog, they'll often come attached to that same part of your scalp that's being ripped off and be more efficient at ripping your face off. Y'all remember I showed that video on Twitter from in India. As soon as they started to attack that boy, they immediately started to scalp him. They was yanking him by the scalp. How dangerous these things are. Because your head is round, the tooth gets sunk right in there. Boy, this is crazy. And y'all teaching people, even if it's adults, but you're teaching kids, even toddlers, to ask for permission when they see these things, go up and pet them. Okay, all right.
So how did they treat it?
Well, when they came in, they had offered me 2 options, surgeon, that they could fly me to Erlanger, where they could look at it.
Yeah, you was messed up pretty bad. All in Alabama. Well, they got Jacqueline Duran in the background on the big screen. They got Brooklyn Curry back there. They pulled Jacqueline Duran onto the show. Man, oh man. But this took place in Alabama as well. Alabama just been bad this year. Okay, that was what? When was this? Back in May. Back in May of this year. Man. I think this was Alabama. Okay, Red Bay, Alabama. 2 deaths. This is back in March. So Alabama is bad. Clearly. Let's see what they're going to do. And of course, I didn't even share all of the attacks is taking place in Alabama. But Alabama is not the only state where we have this problem. This is really in all states. Okay? Dog problem in general is getting a lot worse. What is the United States going to do? See, you got other countries who talking about bans. The UK talking about bans. That's what people call a first world country. What is the United States going to do? Because we're getting a lot of attacks out of the U.S. that are just as bad as the ones we was hearing about in the UK. Okay? There's no excuse right now. So we have to do something. We'll see what happens. But if they're going to push this licensing, let's enhance the tethering law, that is pathetic. And that would be an embarrassment. Especially, like I said, when other countries talking about real bans. Some of you read down there in India, they're trying to sue the government. Right now in India, they're trying to sue the government for not doing enough to keep them safe. Because, like I said, they're tax-paying citizens. And the people who are taking their tax dollars, not even making sure that they're safe to walk down the streets, that's just unacceptable. As simple as that, that's unacceptable. And that seems to almost be what they're trying to slowly implement here in the United States. They slowly want this to become just like a lot of other countries that have a major stray dog problem. So Alabama's important right now because this is going to give us an idea of how a first world country, which they call it, how a first world country responds to the same problem. Shout out to everybody able to join me. As you all saw, I had a lot of content to go over, which is why I did not have time. Oh man, this is horrible. Those of you who've gone to Allison Black Cornelius Facebook, this is horrible, horrible stuff. And she should be ashamed of herself. Let me get rid of this. I can't even stand to look at too much more of that. Shout out to everybody able to join me for this late night creeper. And I hope to see you on the next as we continue with this crusade.